What's up, guys? In my most recent video, I went through the top 3 best gaming pre-builts for $1,000 right now as we are getting into the holidays. And I also said that we were most likely going to buy one of those 3 and do a giveaway for you guys. And that is what we have here with the CyberPower Gamer Extreme PC. So this thing, as mentioned in the last video, has an i5-11400F, an RTX 2060. I wish a lot more pre-builts had 3060s in them, but 2060 will do just fine in the majority of games, and we'll put that to the test in this video. And overall, there's a lot of other good specs to this thing. 500 gig NVMe, 8 gigs of RAM in single channel. So I do wish we had 16, but that is always something you can upgrade down the line. We have Wi-Fi, RGB. There's a lot of cool parts to this PC, right around $1,000 at $1,029 to be specific. And it's actually currently on sale for Black Friday, right around $875. So if you're looking to get your hands on this PC and you don't want to wait for the giveaway, there will be a link in the description below for this PC from Amazon. You can hopefully snag it for the Black Friday deal. But let's first unbox this PC, give you a quick overview of the specs, the build quality, all of that. And then of course, we'll put it to the test in some games and some benchmarks to show you guys exactly what you're gonna get if you do win this PC. And of course, this giveaway is for all of you awesome subscribers out there. So if you aren't already subscribed, definitely get subscribed. There'll be a lot more giveaways in the future as well. But all the details for this specific giveaway will come at the end of the video, so definitely stay tuned.
So let's get started with the unboxing of our CyberPower PC. So the Gamer Extreme is a rather small, kind of mid-sized case, similar to, you could probably imagine like an H510 from NZXT, but this is a Cooler Master case. But it is, nice and compact for the amount of hardware that they fit in to this particular computer. Packaging is really, really nice. No problems there when it comes to shipping. Like once we actually get this thing out of the complete packaging, you'll see no damage whatsoever. Everything was super intact, no problems whatsoever. You can see this thing also comes with a keyboard. So you do get a keyboard, so you don't have to make that additional purchase. You might want to upgrade your keyboard down the line, but you do at least have one to start. And you also do get a mouse. So you're kind of off to the races when it comes to just a full complete setup minus a monitor. And then everything else comes in this little bag. So you have your power connector, any HDD caddy drives, things like that. You have your Wi-Fi antennas, which is super nice to have, but everything else that you need is included. You also do get an RGB remote, so you can physically control the lighting on your case. You don't necessarily need to use any software or anything. Then you also get a bunch of manuals, as well as some return guides, things like that, as well as CDs for drivers and stuff. Don't use any of those. You'll eventually, of course, go to the NVIDIA website, download the drivers for the RTX 2060. If you want GeForce Experience as well to do like auto updates on drivers, you can, of course, download that as well. But the driver on this thing was pretty old for the 2060. It was like a couple of, almost probably like a late original driver from when the 2060 first launched. And now we, of course, updated that to the newest version of the driver for the 2060. But as you can see, the packaging on this thing, super nice. No worries when it comes to anything breaking, the GPU falling out during shipping, or anything like that. It is a low profile cooler, so you don't have to worry about the cooler coming off during shipping. But overall, this pop foam that kind of goes into the case and then it expands as they close the case is perfect. Keeps everything intact and everything in place. No problems with the 2060 coming out or any of the cables coming out at all during shipping, which is perfect. You don't want to have that experience where, cables come loose, parts come out of the case, things break when, you're getting a pre-built that's completely shipped from a manufacturer to your home. But overall, everything in here looks pretty nice. I will say the cooler is lacking with that Intel stock cooler. You do see your 1 DIMM of single channel memory, 8 gigabytes. The 2060 is a gigabyte version, and it is dual fans. So you won't know exactly what version of the 2060 you're getting. It's kind of whatever CyberPower has in stock. You can also see the NVMe drive. You do, of course, have all of your cables and things plugged in. The case is USB 3.0. You do have an extra slot as well for a second NVMe down the line if you want. Of course, you get ketchup and mustard cables coming from the power supply. Nothing really you can do there except maybe do an upgrade down the line if you wanted to upgrade either the CPU or GPU down the road. This thing is extremely upgradable just because it's pretty much using all standard off-the-shelf hardware. If we take the back panel off as well, we'll see CyberPower PC does a pretty good job when it comes to cable management and just routing everything super nice and clean. Probably better than I would do with my own personal rig. But overall, this thing looks super clean, super nice. If you wanted to do any upgrades or anything, everything is there for you. Cable tied up so you can access it super, super easy. You also have pretty much complete access to the HDD caddy down below, right in front of the power supply. So you could fit 2 hard drives down there or SSDs or anything like that. So let's boot this thing up for the first time. And it starts right up. No problems whatsoever, which is awesome. That's exactly what you want to see when you're buying a pre-built. You don't have to do any troubleshooting. And if you do have to do troubleshooting, you can definitely reach out to CyberPower PC. Amazon as well has a service in order to troubleshoot any issues you would have with this PC. The RGB fans turn on right away, and we boot directly into the BIOS and straight into Windows 11. And that is something I haven't mentioned. So this PC does ship with Windows 11, which is okay, maybe not so great if you're looking for Windows 10, but overall it's a nice upgrade when it comes to the OS as well. So like I mentioned, right away you're going to want to get your NVIDIA drivers installed, get all of your Windows set up complete, but then I'm going to jump into some testing with Cinebench R23, really just to test our CPU. So performance-wise, it should be very similar to an AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. 6 cores and 12 threads should be perfectly fine for a lot of multitasking as well as just gaming overall. We will boost up to right around 4.4 gigahertz on this processor in game. So the only problem that we are seeing, of course, is temp, and that is, pretty much going to happen with this cooler no matter what. And we're sitting at right around 94C under full load, which is pretty high. But let's jump into some games and see how the GPU performs. So we're going to start off with Valorant, a lighter title, more CPU dependent, less GPU heavy. And we're going to go all high presets, 8x anisotropic filtering. Pretty good settings for a 2060 and this 11400. Overall, we're sitting right around 175 to 200 FPS throughout the entire gaming session, which is awesome. That's all you're really ever going to need, especially if you're only gaming on, let's say, a 144 hertz monitor. You're not really going to utilize those extra frames that you might get if you're to turn those settings down to medium or low, but you make the game look and feel a lot better with those higher settings. So overall, no complaints whatsoever inside of Valorant. Pretty awesome FPS, can't complain there. But after we go through this Valorant run through, eventually we will go into Halo Infinite, a much heavier GPU intense game where we should be able to stress test the GPU, get an idea on temps of the GPU after we already found out that the CPU is hitting right around 94, 93 degrees C under full load.
Spike down B. One enemy remaining.
Scanning ahead. There they are.
Get on my bed. Get on my bed.
Neutralized. Down.
Enemy spotted A.
Spike down A. One enemy remaining.
Right here.
Flawless.
So let's jump into Halo Infinite. Here we're sitting at right around medium settings, getting right around 60 to 70 FPS, but we will boost that up to low settings. That way we can see slightly higher FPS going through here. I was seeing a bit of just stuttering and frame drops into the 30s, 40s FPS for a quick second, just a quick stutter, but it was distracting when playing the game. So we're going to drop those settings down to low, and this could very much be dependent on our 8 gigabytes of system memory. Once we bump that up to 16, I would say a lot of these performance issues would go away. But now we're sitting at right around 80 FPS, 75, 80 FPS throughout this game at 100% GPU utilization. I'm hitting 100% on a 3080 Ti as well, so that's just kind of the game overall. It's very high GPU utilization, but that 80 FPS mark is super nice at 1440p and low settings. Can't complain about that whatsoever in a game like Halo Infinite. So, like I said, a little bit better system memory, 16 gigabytes dual channel should do you fantastically well moving forward, and the upgrade on the CPU cooler should be an additional little jump in performance in order to keep that 11400F running at its highest possible boost clocks throughout your gaming sessions. But overall, really can't complain about performance in game. Testing out a lighter title like Valorant as well as a heavier title like Halo Infinite. So yeah, performance-wise, pretty good, and we will soon see once we just about finish this game. Temperatures were running right around 82, 83 degrees C on our RTX 2060, which is a little bit high. We were seeing a bit of drops when it comes to overall clock behavior on the RTX 2060, but yet again, overall, the system has pretty good airflow, pretty good case fans. If you wanted to bump up the fan curve on both the GPU or the system overall, you should see those temps drop a little bit there.
So after going through some of those benchmarks and some of those games, the PC definitely runs a little bit warm with the RTX 2060 hitting just over 80 degrees C in Halo Infinite and even Valorant at half GPU utilization to full GPU utilization. You're gonna see around like 80 to 85 degrees on the GPU. Not the best, but you're still pumping out a bunch of frames in both games. We did have to drop the presets down to low for Halo in order to get steady 80 FPS. When we were at medium settings, there were some frame rate drops, and we were barely scraping over 60 FPS in game. But Valorant was, a lighter title, but we can still see over 200 FPS pretty consistently, even at high settings with this hardware. The 11400 is also pretty ill-equipped when it comes to cooling as well, with it hitting almost 93, 94 degrees C in Cinebench testing, and that was a pretty short duration worth of testing. So the first thing I would do is probably pop on a new cooler onto this pre-built if you're to buy it or win it in the giveaway. And the second thing I would do is definitely upgrade the 8 gigs of RAM to 16. That would definitely increase performance in a lot of those games and a lot of the testing that you might be running on your PC once you get it. So overall, this PC is awesome. The look of it, the RGB is sweet. All the components are right up there when it comes to that $1,000 budget. You can't really get better specs than the PC you have behind me. And the build quality is honestly really good as well. So I really have no complaints at this price point for this CyberPower PC Gamer Extreme Edition with the RTX 2060 and the i5 11400F. If you're looking to enter the giveaway, of course, the big detail of this entire video, be sure to look in the description below. There should be a link to a Gleam giveaway. All you have to do is follow me on Twitter, retweet one of the tweets announcing the giveaway, and then of course visit the channel. If you aren't subscribed, get subscribed because there'll be a lot more giveaways. You don't have to subscribe for the giveaway, but if you would like to stay up to date on my other videos and other giveaways coming up in the future, definitely get subscribed. And if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed the PC, give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one.